clubs sit at the top of the table over in the Bundesliga, one of them being Bayern München. But who joins them at the tip of the top of the table? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match day number 7. That's right, over in the Bundesliga. And we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for Bundesliga, Blabbing Rovers, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right, Bayern top the charts with RB Leipzig. That's right, both are on 14 points and both yet to taste defeat this coming season. But breathing down the necks are the likes of Frankfurt, Freiburg, and even champions Leverkusen could take top spot this weekend with a little bit of lady luck. We'll take a look at all that in a minute. Big shout out to the VIPs, the patrons, you know who you are, and a big shout out to the members. You know who you are. Of course, all part of the forever loving family. Now, if you want to become part of the family, check out the links down below. I do appreciate the love over there. But now we're going to jump in the deep end and recap the results that took place prior to the international break. So here we go. Alrighty then, here we go, lads and lasses. These are the results, including my boys, Mönchengladbach losing to bloody Augsburg. 2-1 loss there. I went the other way. Leverkusen could only draw with Holstein Kiel. That was a big opportunity missed. Monster point for Holstein Kiel, of course, who are down there struggling at the moment. Meanwhile, Bremen did lose to Freiburg. 1-0 winners there. Big win for them on the road. Union Berlin pick up a 2-1 win over Dortmund, who, of course, all the way down to 7th. Right now, I did go for a 2-2, so it was close. Wolfsburg, 3-1 winners over Bochum. Mainz, big win over St. Pauli, of course. You think they get cooking, but then, of course, they lose. So, not great form for them. Heidenheim losing to RB Leipzig. A 6-goal thriller, Frankfurt and Bayern, 3-3 in the end. And Stuttgart and Hoffenheim due to out to a 1-1 draw in what is looking like a very good Bundesliga right now. As you see it, this is the table despite Bayern's free-scoring dominance, scoring 20 goals this season already. They are up there, and they got good company. Frankfurt, a good side. Freiburg are going to challenge Leverkusen as well. And Union Berlin are back. They might not be scoring many goals, but they are bloody back. As for going down, it's Bochum, it's Holstein, Kiel, Hoffenheim are out of right old nightmare as well. It's tight in that middle of the pack there, but it could all change this coming weekend. What also could change is, of course, the Super Brew. Here it is, guys. Here it bloody is. Respect to Ultra Omamura kicking ass with his 10-pointer this past weekend. Saki, alongside him with 7. Noah also with 7 as well. Shepherd Daddy in there as well. What about me? I don't think I did good. Where the heck am I? I'm all the way down here with 2.5. A lot of a low-scoring round, it looks like. Pretty grim stuff for me. And that actually dented my push for the title. That's right, as I am now down or remain in 5th. But the gap between myself and the top dog, which is Russell Frosty, has opened up to nearly 10 points. I've got to get my groove on here. Shepherd, though, is breathing down the next big mover, though. Ultra Omamura up 10 spots to number 9. He believes. Of course, so a lot of shakers, a lot of movers and shakers over in the Bundesliga, but it can all change again this coming weekend. And of course, if you want to get involved, this is how you do it, guys. This is how you do it. Use this link right here, right now. It's on the screen. Get involved, get invested, become part of the gang, and see if you can outbreak me, the Prediction King. All right then, folks, here we go with the next round of matches. Then we got some absolute bangers in here, including Bayern against Stuttgart. We also got Leverkusen and Frankfurt, all absolute crackers. But we're going to start at the top of the graphic with a trip to the Signal and Dunder Park. That's right, it's Dortmund against St. Pauli. That's right, Dortmund under Nuri Sarin currently find themselves in 7th with 10 points to the name. 4 wins in the last 6 games up against St. Pauli and Alexandra Blesin. That's right, just 1 win in the last 6 for them, sitting 15th with just 4 points all season long. Now, they have played 12 times, these two clubs, since 1995. 10 wins for Dortmund, 1 for St. Pauli. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Most recently, it was a win. They last played at St. Pauli back in January 2022, round of 16 of the DFB Pokal. It was a 2-1 win for St. Pauli, that's right. But the last time they played at competitive action at Dortmund, it was back in February 2011. 2-0 winners for Dortmund. Of course, that was way back in the Bundesliga then. Dortmund, though, on the back of a 2-1 loss to Union Berlin. Of course, it wasn't long ago. In fact, the last time they played at this very venue, they put 7 past Scottish champions Celtic. In fact, they scored 11 goals at this very venue in the last 2 games played. St. Pauli, though, coming into this on the back of a 3-0 loss to Mainz, which is not great. Basic odds on this one. The basic odds go in favour of the yellow and black. They are overwhelming favourites. And, of course, they should win this game, despite having not the best of seasons so far. 3-0 win. Dortmund taking it to the house. Next up, one of the games of the weekend is Bayer Leverkusen up against Eintracht Frankfurt. Frankie to you and I. They have played 54 times since 1992. 30 wins for Leverkusen, 16 wins for Frankfurt, 8 draws, of course. Xabi Alonso's boys, unbeaten in at least the last 6 games, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. Meanwhile, Frankfurt under Dino Topmuller, also unbeaten in the last 6 games, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. Last time around, though, at this very venue, it was a 3-0 win for Leverkusen. In fact, Bayer Leverkusen have actually won 3 on the bounce against Frankfurt, scoring 11 goals in the last 3 games against them combined. Frankfurt, though, on the back of that monstrous point at home to Frankfurt, 3-3 in the end, with the last defeat, I don't even know when, losing to Dortmund on the opening day. Holstein, Kiel were the opponents for Bayer Leverkusen last time around. They got a cheeky away point there, to the surprise of all, with the Leverkusen side. They were not necessarily as good as they were last season, but they are still proving to be difficult to beat. Again, unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. The bookies, though, will go with the host here, Leverkusen. They are favoured. Frankfurt overwhelming underdogs, but it's going to be a tight old game. It'll be tough for them to break down, but realistically, I'm going to go with a 3-1 win by Leverkusen, taking the points and potentially challenging for top spot this weekend. Next, go to the Rhein-Neckar Arena now as Hoffenheim under Pellegrino Matarazzo up against Bochum, that's right, under Peter Ziedler. Both sides struggling at the moment towards the foot of the table. 16th place Hoffenheim with just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Bochum, of course, 18th for the table, just 1 point to the name all season long. Now, these two clubs have played 13 times since 2008. 5 wins for Hoffenheim, 8 wins for Bochum. There's been 0 draws between the two sides. Hoffenheim, though, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They've turned a corner, maybe, under Pellegrino Matarazzo. Bochum, though, 4 matches, of course, without a win. Last time around, over at this very venue, was a 3-1 win for Hoffenheim back in December 2023. The hosts on the back of that 1-1 draw, decent draw against Stuttgart. Bochum, though, losing to Wolfsburg this past weekend before the international break. With a heavy loss. Of course, the bookies here, they go with Hoffenheim. Of course, they're down there. Maybe it's a false indication, false positive as well. You don't know about that. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Hoffenheim are favoured. So I'm going to give them a 2-1 win, in my eyes, to maybe recharge or restart their season over in the Bundesliga. Freiburg next. They're taking on Augsburg. That's right. Coming at you on the 19th of October. Julian Schuster's Freiburg sit 4th for the table. 4 wins the last 6 games with 12 points to the name. Augsburg are on the climb somewhat, with just Todd at the helm, 30th for the table with 7 points to the name. Now, these two clubs have played 32 times since 2006. 16 wins for Freiburg, 8 wins for Augsburg. There's been 8 draws between the two sides, with the most recent match being a 2-1 win for Augsburg in Augsburg back in February 2024. However, in Freiburg, it's a different story. Freiburg winning 3 on the bounce. In fact, they've just lost once against Augsburg over the last 6 in all competitions, all venues, that's right, scoring 15 goals to their 7. Is that what I'm reading here? Might not be right. Might be wrong. That might be bad karma. In fact, they've scored what? Let me do the math here. 7, 9, 11, 15 goals. 15 goals to their... Yeah, 7. I think that's about right. Anyway, regardless, of course, Freiburg looking the more fancied, of course, coming into this on the back of a 1-0 win over Bremen. That was most recently. Augsburg with that big win over my boys, 2-1 over against Mönchengladbach. The bookies, we're looking at Freiburg for the victory, overwhelmingly so, and I think I'm leaning that way as well. Augsburg ain't no slouches these days, serious contenders, and of course, for Europe anyway, and I think they'll get the 3 points over at the Europa Park Stadion. Head on over to the Miwa Arena now as Mainz try to do the dirty on RB Leipzig. That's right, Mainz under Boone Henriksen. Currently sit 10th with 8 points to the name. They're coming at you with 2 wins out of the last 6 matches. Because Leipzig, 50% form for them right now, winning 2, losing 2. And drawing 2, heading into this. Now, these two clubs have played 16 times since 2016. 5 wins for Mainz, 7 wins for Leipzig, 4 draws. Pretty evenly spread over the last 16 games. The last time they played, in fact, it was over in Leipzig. It was a 0-0 draw. In fact, Mainz are unbeaten against Leipzig over the last 4, picking up a couple of wins and a couple of draws. In fact, they haven't conceded a goal against Leipzig in the last 3. Goodness gracious me. But Mainz got ticking as well in the past couple of games with a 3-0 win against St. Pauli last time around. However, the last time they were at home, in fact, the last 3 matches at home, they have lost. They've lost to Darmstadt in a I don't even know what kind of game that was. 2-1 loss to Bremen, of course, and a 2-0 loss to Heidenheim. So not good venue as is the Miwa currently for Mainz. Leipzig, though, on the back of a 1-0 win over Heidenheim. They're actually back-to-back wins in the Bundesliga. In fact, when we look at 3 clean sheets on the spin for Leipzig, they are favoured as well by the bookies. Mainz, the overwhelming underdogs, and again, going to go with that as well, keeping the clean sheet record going. 2-0 win, Leipzig taking the 3 points, and again, that should put them at least equal top, if not outright top, depending on what goes on with Bayern and Stuttgart. Let's go to Borussia Park now as my boys Mönchengladbach take on Heidenheim. That's right, with Frank Schmidt in the dugout for the visitors, Gerardo Sione in the dugout for the hosts. Mönchengladbach sit 14th, 6 points to the name, 2 wins of the last 6 matches up against Heidenheim, 9 points, sitting in 9th. With 3 wins of the last 6. Now, they played 5 times since 2011. 4 wins for Gladbach, nothing for Heidenheim. It's been 1 draw between the two sides. They last played over at this venue, 3-1 when it was, back in October 2023. It was in the round of 32 in the DFB Pokal. But they also played last season. In fact, they played, oh my gosh, am I looking at this right? 3 times last season, with Gladbach winning a couple of them and just drawing the other one. That was over in Heidenheim. So 2 successive wins for Gladbach, looking for a hat-trick. Can they do it this weekend? Well, they're coming into this on the back of that 2-1 loss to Augsburg. Their home record, though, is a little bit hit and miss, losing the heavyweights Leverkusen and Stuttgart, but most recently picking up a win against Union Berlin, who are doing well themselves. Heidenheim, of course, on the road, good wins against Mainz. Most recently, that was the last away game in the Bundesliga, 2-0 winners last time around. The bookies, though, they'll go with Gladbach. They are favoured, of course, and I'm also going to go that way. Back my boys here, 3-1 win. I don't know where they're going right now, Gladbach. I don't know if they're going to make a push for the top 8 or they're going to be languishing towards the middle of the bottom end of the table, but ultimately not good at the moment. Let's head over to the mountains now. Bavaria as Bayern take on Stuttgart in a ding-dong classic as Bayern, 67% form for them right now. Winless in 3, would I say. Top of the table, 14 points for the name. Up against Stuttgart, who are 8th in 9 points to the name. Winless in 3 also as hitting the skids somewhat, you would imagine. In fact, just 1 win in the last 5 for Stuttgart, 58% form for them over the last 6, compared to the 67% form for Bayern over the last 6. Now, they played 67 times since 1992, 46 wins for Bayern, 11 wins for Stuttgart. There's been 10 draws between the two sides. The last time they played over at this venue was a 3-0 win for Bayern back in December 2023. Just the 1 loss against Stuttgart. That was in Stuttgart last season. Bayern, though, on the back of that 3-3 draw against Frankfurt. Stuttgart picking up a 1-1 draw at home to Hoffenheim. And I said the last victory for Stuttgart was at home against Dortmund. Of course, their last away victory was against Mönchengladbach way back on the 14th of September. Bayern, of course, last time played over at this venue in the Bundesliga as a 1-1 draw against Leverkusen. So it was a solid draw in the end. Bookies will go with Bayern. They are overwhelming favoured here. Stuttgart, the underdogs. I'm going to go with a Bayern victory, but goals in it, 6 goals in it, 4-2 in favour of the current table toppers, Bayern. Off to Holstein, Kiel now, as the hosts, Kiel, under Marcel Rapp, take on Union Berlin. That's right, coming at you on Sunday, the 20th of October. That's right, Marcel Rapp's boys in 17th spot with just 2 points to their name. And those 2 points, they've been in the most recent games, in the last 2 away matches. That's right, picking up a draw against Bochum and a draw against Leverkusen. Maybe a turning of a corner there. Bo Svensson's Union Berlin, though, 6th with 11 points to the name, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Now, these two clubs have played 12 times since 2004. 4 wins for Kiel, 5 wins for Berlin, and there's been 3 draws between the two sides, with the most recent competitive match in Kiel being a 2-0 win for Union Berlin back in March 2019. In fact, the last time that these two sides were in the same division was back in 2018-2019. Union Berlin doing the double and picking up back-to-back clean sheets. Of course, Berlin, though, picking up a 2-1 win over Dortmund. Most recently, Kiel with that big away point against Leverkusen, against some juggernauts, both these two sides. The bookies, they'll go with Union Berlin. They are favoured. Holstein Kiel yet to really get going this season. And I think they're going to have a struggle all season long. I'm going to back Union Berlin here. 2-0 winners. They're back to the very best. They're frustrating best. You know what I mean? But good for them, 2-0 winners to keep on moving up the table. And then finally, folks, we head over to Wolfsburg as they take on Werder Bremen in the battle of the W's. That's right, Wolfsburg under Ralf Hasenhüttl up against Bremen and Uli Werner at the Volkswagen Arena. Played 57 times since 1997. We've got 21 wins for Wolfsburg, 25 wins for Bremen, 11 draws between the two sides. Wolfsburg, 58% form for them, and just 1 win under the last 4 for Hasenhüttl's boys. They sit 12th with 7 points to the name. Bremen under Uli Werner, 2 wins of the last 6. 42% form for them. They sit 11th with 8 points to the name. Now, the last time that these two sides played over in Wolfsburg, it was a 2-2 draw back in November 2023. Wolfsburg, though, on the back of a 3-1 win over Bochum. Bremen losing to Freiburg last time around. In fact, the last time that Bremen were on the road, though, they picked up a 3-pointer against Hoffenheim, 7-goal thriller. In fact, their away form is pretty good at the moment. Back-to-back away wins for Bremen, beating Mainz and Hoffenheim. Wolfsburg's home form is not great at the moment either. Back-to-back games without picking up a win, drawn with Stuttgart and losing to Frankfurt in quick succession. The bookies, They'll go, though, with Wolfsburg to turn that tide around. As for Bremen, of course, they are the underdogs on this one. For me, though, it's not for me, no, but for me, though, it's going to be a tight one. 2-1 win, though. Wolfsburg will take it, and a big win for them, moving up the table once again. Those are my pickaroonies, guys. Make sure you get your own pick in as well using the link here for the Super Brew. We'll be back again next time around, but again, when we do come back, it will be a little bit rough because I'm going to be out and about over in England. That's right, to get my football credits in against to see the mighty Blackburn Rovers. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. We'll see you soon, guys. Very, very soon. I am out.